Hello, welcome to another Informatica video tutorial. My name is Fernando Guerrero, I am a Cloud Solution Specialist, and in this video we are going to talk about how to set and review permissions for assets in Informatica Cloud. Through this video we are going to review why it's important to create these permissions. We will have a demo, and also at the end I will give you a link to the documentation, so if you want to learn more about those APIs. So the first thing that you need to know is why do you need to set and review permissions? Maybe in your organization you have different kind of roles. You have developers, you have QA, or people who, not all the people need to have privileges to modify, to execute your assets. For example, the QA people, they need to read it, they need to execute it, but they don't need to modify it. Your developers, they will need to read it, write it, and execute it. Other people may only need to execute, and different people will need only to read it. So you can set these permissions at the user level, or you can set this at the group level. And in the video, I will show you how to do it, how to review, and how to set those ones. We will do it for a specific user. Okay, so now I am going to show you how to create access control lists and how to check the privileges for specific objects. And for example, here we So now we are going to proceed to the demo. In this demo, I am going to show you how you can verify the specific privileges that you have for an object, how to set those privileges, how to change those privileges. And this is the way that you will do for any user or for a group in your organization. You can set different access control privileges to each group depending on the role in the company. So I have here this mapping, and you see this mapping has this ID. Okay, and we are going to use this ID when we request the privileges in the REST API. So for this object, I don't have privileges for this object, okay? But I am an admin user. But right now here, when I check, here's the API, okay? Before using this API, you need to use one to log in into the REST API. And when you log in, it's gonna give you back a session ID. The session ID, you need to put it here in the headers. Without this ID, you are not gonna be able to use any of the REST APIs because this identifies who you are. Okay, so here in the URL, we see that we have a section that is the base URL. This is different for each of you. When you log into your account, you will see what is the base URL that you need to use. And this is the same as the one that you use for your internet user interface. It's the same. Okay, so the rest, this is the URL for the get details permission REST API. So the ID that we copy from the web browser, we are going to place it here. And now I want to know my user, which privileges I have for this object. So I am going to send a request, and it's not giving me any, it's at 200 return, that means it's successful, but it's not returning me any information. That means that I don't have any access control list to this object. So I want to create one, and as I told you, you can, if you have admin, you can create this for other users or for different groups. So the first thing that you will do is you will have to create. So now we are in a post permission. This API is going to help you to create the access control list. Okay, and here you need to specify again the same ID that we saw in the web browser, and you need to send in the body, you need to send this JSON. here you want to specify which permissions you want for this object. So in this case, I am specifying that I am doing for a user, and I am giving the name of the user. So you can put here that it's going to be a group instead of a user, and you will put here the name of the group. And I am specifying all the privileges that I want to have for this specific object. So I am going to send the send request. And here in the response, you can see that I got an ID. It's telling me again the username. It's telling me the privileges that I just posted. So it's just basically confirming that this was created, okay? And here you make sure of this ID because you will use it later. So now that I created, if I go back to check the details, you will see how here now this is going to return me something. See? I was able to get the information that I posted before. So you can see now in the execute, I don't have privileges to execute this mapping. So now I want to update those privileges. So there is another API call that we can use to update. So make sure that we copy the same object ID. So we come to the update. This is the URL. We are going to change here. Let me update. This is, I want to update for this object. And also remember in the previous one, you get now an ID here. This is important because now we need it to update. Let me copy this one. And in the update, at the end of the URL, I am going to post that ID. Okay. And now I want to specify here, okay, again for the user, the username. And now I am setting, okay, I want to execute equal to true. Okay. So I am going to send this request. And it's giving me a status 204, which means that it was successful, but it just doesn't return any information. So if I go now to get details permission, and I execute this, you see now my execute privilege has been set to true. So this is how you create access control level and how you verify the permissions that you have for a specific object, or which permissions a group has for a specific object. If you want to know more about the Informatica REST API for permissions, you can visit the documentation, and here you have the link. You will find more resources here that will guide you how to use this API and all the possibilities. Any feedback that you have about our videos, you can send us an email to our support videos@informatica.com, and also you can send it to our Twitter account. Thank you very much for watching this video.